Kamehameha, this is the flag that protects the people who are not strong enough to protect themselves. The weak, the infirm, the widowed, the non-combatants, the people who live on the streets. Hawaii right now has the highest per capita homeless rate in the territories that are controlled by the United States. And that's a sad situation. That's one of the reasons it's gone that far, you know.
Can Hawaiian have their own school with their own language?
That's what has happened. Now there's a huge cultural renaissance that has taken place. In my parents' time, grandparents' time, they were beaten for speaking the language. So when I was a child, I was never given a Hawaiian name, and I was not allowed to eat Hawaiian food. But now times have changed. The language is back, the culture is back, and that's by the thousands now who speak it. So where the mind has gone, the body now wants to follow.
I see you have a British
Yes.
flag.
This is
if
the-
Hawaii is a Commonwealth, part of the
Yes,
Commonwealth,
yes.
why didn't they fight back for the US?
Well, this is one of the things that the Queen asked the people to stand down in 1893, January 17th, because she knew that it was futile to engage in a conflict where our protectorate could not get to us fast enough. And to avoid being falling under the concept of being conquered or discovered, those various doctrines, she said we must wait. And we've waited 120 years, but the wait is over.
How many percent of Hawaiian today, native Hawaiian, want to have a separation, independence, exactly as it was before?
I would say that it is a unanimous, given their choice, everyone. But because there hasn't been given a choice, and basically one of the reasons why we're here is because there has been an attempt within the executive branch of government to create an Indian tribe out of we who are national origins. You know, it's like Saddam Hussein. Before the United States was going to attack Saddam Hussein, Iraq, and they told him to get out of Kuwait, Saddam said clearly, well, what about Hawaii? It's that direct, and that was reiterated again. But right now, we're here to, and I think we have pretty much accomplished our task to prevent that tribal recognition, which has totally been rejected by the masses of people who came out when this Department of Interior came to Hawaii in 2014.
Has been any legal action in United Nations?
The gentleman there in Free Hawaii has been going to the United Nations. I have filed documents in October calling for the decolonization, and documents have been filed already with the International Court of Justice, because that's their legal arm. And these are official documents that are coming out of our own judiciary.
On the birth certificate of the Hawaiian native, what does it say? It's a John Doe born birth.
What has happened is that they have been denationalizing us, our children, putting us in all capital corporate, instead of having upper and lower case, which would basically solidify our human rights instead of being a corporate person. Yeah. So that's a very, very important aspect, because denationalization is a form of genocide. Okay, I was anglicized. My father was an immigrant to the United States, came out of the Spanish Inquisition. So really, the Queen's today is 119 years since Queen Kalani took the train, of which we took the train and followed in her footsteps. Today, we filed papers with the State Department. We refiled her authenticated notice to the State Department to prevent the attempt to annex Hawaii.
This morning you already have
Yes.
been in the
We were met
Foreign
at the
Ministry.
State Department this morning and have refiled the Queen's June 17th, 1897 official protest against annexation.
Did they say anything to you when you filed that?
They were happy to receive it.
Okay.
Did they give you receipt? I mean, did you?
We have
file it?
stamped documents.
Uh-huh.
It is a. In other words, if we're playing chess,
Yes.
in the game of chess,
Yes.
in 1893, by an act of war, the United States supported sugar business interests and missionaries who suddenly it wasn't enough for them to come and preach the name of God, but they got into taking business and said basically, we want it. And they brought in the gunship Boston on January 17th, 1893. The Gatling guns and the U.S. troops marched up to the Iolani Palace and imprisoned and took over Hawaii. And so today's filing is we get our queen back today. We, the common people, the people of the land, we reached the other side of the board in the game of chess.
Who is the queen?
Her name was Queen Liliuokalani.
But she's not alive anymore. Who would be the new queen?
Well, we have a process for that. Because Hawaii is a constitutional monarchy, you say,
Yes.
with the highest literacy rate in the entire world. We had electricity in Iolani Palace before it was in Washington, D.C. And we have over 35 treaties that are outstanding, that are still in effect and non-abrogated with countries all over the world.
Would the queen be elected? Would the queen come from the same family that the previous queen came from?
If there are heirs, there are processes for that. Otherwise, the constitutional body, the body politic, the rules are in place to fill that seat of responsibility. Put it that way.
Interesting.
Okay, and what we have to offer now as a result of the cultural renaissance is a form of governance that is unique because it is not top heavy. It's not just coming in the form of a dictatorship. And that is what Kamaka here and the younger generation are fluent in the language of which I never was allowed to even hear, except for in song. But now the younger generation have come with a form of governance that the importance of a fisherman, the importance of a farmer, the importance of those who are spiritually led, it all must work like a body. And this is something which is being offered to the world because of some of the problems that exist, because you don't have that type of mutual respect within your government. And the result of that is mismanagement of the resources. So that's why we're here. And we're very proud. Like I said this morning, a copy of that governing document in that form to assure the United States that this is not an issue of separation. We were never technically a part of the United States, but we have a model for governance which is unique and which can work for us and can be a model for the world.
Can I step in really quickly? And I don't want to step in front of anybody's camera. I just want to ask you a few questions here.
Sure.
All right. So you're saying the Hawaii has never actually been a state.
That's right.
It was all in our minds. It was all in our heads. It sounds like you're saying you don't really like America very much. You don't like being part of America.
My father sought refuge in America. It's not about that. That's not the question. The question and the reason why we are here is to dispel the scourge of wrongful acts that have been committed without the knowledge or participation of the honest Americans.
Can you give me some examples of how being seen as a part of the United States, being officially recognized as a state, has damaged Hawaii?
Well, the gentleman that I think you were interviewing before, we're not a part. It's a semantic distortion of historical fact. That's what happened. Okay, the state of Hawaii is a corporation. And President Eisenhower, before that could even become an entity as it is, the requirement of Executive Proclamation of 3309 required equal footing If Hawaii had been annexed in 1898, what was the use? Why did the executive branch say we needed equal footing?
Well, because we need